Guitar, my little short stubby fingers just won't fit around guitar. A lady gave me an antique 4-string banjo that I wish I still had because I think it would be worth some money. But anyway, we parted ways with the banjo because the banjo I discovered is a very, very difficult instrument to play. I thought, well, there's got to be slower. Well, anyway, then I think it was probably in early mid-1970s. We're in Kansas City, Missouri for a meeting, business meeting, and we're in a shop, and we're looking around, and there was another customer in the store, and it was kind of a variety store. The lady reached up on the shelf and picked an instrument off the shelf and just laid it down on the counter and started playing it. I thought, it's beautiful. That is a beautiful, beautiful sound. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about it. That was called a dulcimer, D-U-L-C-I-M-E-R. Now, not common in this part of the country, but if you get down in the Ozark country, Branson, Missouri, okay, take a little trip over to Silver City, something like that, chances are you're going to see some dulcimers. Okay, you're probably going to see the hammered dulcimer, which is on a stand, and they play it with 2 wooden sticks. We have one, it has 99 strings on it. I decided a little bit too challenging. We live in an apartment now, so it's stored underneath the bed. Okay, but we have 3 lap dulcimers, L-A-P. Lap means just you sit down, hold it on your lap, and play it. It's a folk music instrument. We'll get to that. Well, anyway, getting into percussion. Well, if you've ever seen the Sufu drum line or any of the Drum Corps International or Drum and Bugle Corps, you know that they've got drums of every size, shape, and description. You know, it's just almost boggles the mind, and you can't describe all that. Plus, there are cymbals, and you have triangles, and you have marimbas, and you've got bell chimes, and just all kinds of that percussion stuff. Well, we didn't have a lot of percussion to bring tonight. Besides, well, we could have done it, but if we had a snare drum, we could do that. But anyway, I brought a drum. This is my latest acquisition because we have a small music collection. This is an Irish drum called a burin. Burin. That's the correct pronunciation. Talk to Mr. Murphy in Sioux Falls. Okay. If you've seen any of the Celtic music groups on TV, public broadcasting, and so forth, the Irish, I'm 50% Irish too, so I love Irish dance, I love the Irish music and these specials on public television, and you will see the burin is the percussion instrument of choice with the Celtic performing instruments. History-wise, I guess it goes back to somewhere around the 14th century, about the time of the Druids, pagan worship, and because of that legend of history, this thing fell out of favor for centuries. In the 1960s, one of the performing groups in Ireland picked this up and revived it, so from about the 1960s on, this has become a very, very popular instrument. It's a quality instrument. And you hold it in your hand, different ways of playing, and so forth. There's a lady in Sioux Falls who gives lessons, and I think I'm going to try and invest in a couple lessons. Now, there's different sounds. Okay, you hit it right in the center. That sound. You hit it about a third of the way out, and out towards the edge. A little different. So, and there's all kinds of these, balance or whatever. Besides that, it's very light and easy to carry around. You don't have to break your back carrying this whole thing around. So, anyway, this is one of the Irish symbols. This is an Irish cross. Can't think of the name of the cross now. But it has a circle and a cross. You see all of the intertwining on it. It represents the circle of life, and of course how everything is connected and intertwined with life. So, a little bit of Irish legend there. Well, so much for percussion. Every country has just about their own types of, the bongo drums of Africa, and, on and on. In the orchestra, of course, you have big timpanis, drums, several sizes. You have the snare drums, the bass drums, it goes on and on and on. Okay, back to the dulcimer. What is a dulcimer? Dulcimer is a stringed instrument. If you want to check, you can go back to the King James Version of the Bible. It has to be the King James Version because the other versions don't mention it. But King James Version of the Bible, Daniel, chapter 3 in the Old Testament of Daniel. King Nebuchadnezzar says, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, the drum, and the lyre, and the dulcimer, and a few other instruments, you bow down and worship me. Okay. Dulcimer is Latin, and it means sweet sound. Okay, what did the dulcimers look like back in Old Testament times? I don't know. It's probably just a square box with wooden strings. Here again, you can go to just about any country in the world, and they will have a folk music stringed instrument, and of many different names. This one is probably closer to Scotland than anything. Probably brought to the United States by the Scottish immigrants back a century or a century and a half ago. Now this is a 6-string dulcimer, and now let's see here. We got a chair. You see, at my age, it had to be fairly easy to play. They say that you can learn to play the dulcimer in 5 minutes. For Norwegians, it probably takes 10 or 15. So,
ouch.
Yeah, I remember, I'm 50% Norwegian. Okay. So, matter of fact, back to that Kansas City thing, I bought this as a kit. I brought it home, and actually when you bring a kit home, you put it in the closet and forget about it for 6 months or a year. Then you say, well, maybe I should do something with that after you're tired of moving it around. So I put it all together. It's got a few dings in it. This is this one is called a church dulcimer. Now you know it's a church dulcimer because it has a cross on it. Okay. Now, it's called a church dulcimer because it has 6 strings. So we play it the traditional way. They can be corded. They can be picked like a guitar with, picks on your fingers or fingernails, which I don't have. But 6 strings. So you have, on this one I played a little wooden peg here called a noter. No sharps or flats on this instrument, so you're not going to play the flight of the bumblebee or something like that. Okay. Then, after you have the melody, that's your scale and so forth, then you have these 4 strings. That's called drone harmony. Those strings are not okay, I strum them, but they don't change. Drone, D-R-O-N-E, means constant sound. Okay, what other instrument in common use do we have that uses drone harmony? The bagpipes. Bagpipes has certain pipes on the instrument that play the same tone, and that's kind of why you hear a little bit of that bagpipe sound. Okay, so when I put it all together, works nice for church, playing hymns and so forth, which is generally not too fast. Now, of course, the mountain folks of the southeastern United States, they didn't have fancy pianos and organs and bands, dance bands and so forth. So when they went to the hoedown on Saturday night or so forth, they took their dulcimers along and they played dance music. Now this is a little piece of plastic. It's a collar stay out of a collar. So